Welcome, everyone. I'm Reverend Skip Jennings, and it's my divine honor and pleasure to welcome you into the sanctuary and our family on Facebook. Here at CSL, we have 7 core values, and they are love, healing, oneness, abundance, spiritual growth, service, and diversity. All are very important, but today we're going to focus in on diversity. Brandon, can you run that video? So, you might not have seen what that video was, but I do know what it was. On Friday evening, we had a wedding here, and we celebrated 2 people coming together in a union. How magical is that? See, here at CSL, diversity is a key core value because we allow and we want and we embrace everyone to come and celebrate who you are. One of the things that is so great about CSL and what we have here, we have rentals, and that helps us to meet our yearly and monthly budget requirements. So when we celebrate whatever it is, may it be a wedding or a birth, or may it be a christening, or even a celebration of life, it doesn't matter what you believe, we're going to embrace you and love you. Today, our core value is diversity.
I want to start this morning with a story about this incredibly brave woman. Her name is Marina Abramovic. It's a story that's almost too much to bear, a story that holds the space between true compassion and human cruelty. She was born in a country that no longer exists, that's what she says, Yugoslavia, a daughter of strict military personnel, heroes. So it's interesting that she became an artist. You wouldn't expect that to be her heritage. Her art is performance and conceptual. It's really bizarre and out there. It makes a lot of people very, very uncomfortable to watch her performance art. You know, maybe art is supposed to do that. Maybe it's not supposed to be pretty. Maybe it's supposed to wake us up. Now, perhaps you'll understand Marina's art better by knowing a little bit more about her. She grew up in a violent home with parents who hated each other. Her mother actually beat her and had strict rules of behavior, things she could do, things she could not do. She hardly ever left the house. Her father's temper raged. He would throw things, he would break things. And there she was, as she found herself in the midst of it, held captive as a child, a victim in her own home, having to witness adults who were emotionally, psychologically, and physically abusive. One of her most popular works was titled, "The Artist is Present." It took place in New York City at the Museum of Modern Art between the dates of March 14th and May 31st, 2010. 632 hours of performance art for 8 hours a day. Marina sat in a single wooden chair and welcomed anyone to sit in silence across from her, just looking into her eyes for as long as they were comfortable with, for as long as they wanted to. 632 hours, 8 hours a day. With each day, the crowd grew larger. The line started to form around the block. One woman came all the way from Australia just to sit across from Marina and look into her eyes. Another woman walked up. Before she sat down, she took her dress off. She sat down and stared in front of her eyes. And later when they asked her, "Why did you do that?" she said, "I just wanted to meet her vulnerability with my own." Every day, more and more people gathered to sit across from her. Many would just sit there and cry. The Artist is Present broke attendance records at MoMA with more than 500,000 participants. It was a testament to the pain that we all carry with us, that is silently waiting just below the surface of our everyday lives. And given the space or time for that pain, it will surface. But you see, we do everything to not have it surface because we don't want to feel the pain. We don't have time for the pain. We don't want to admit we are vulnerable at all. And so we hide it, and we anesthetize it, and we numb it, and we pretend that it's not there. And if we keep doing that, the pain turns inward, becomes violent and destructive, because the pain has to come out, the wound has to be lanced. This is why so many people just cried when they sat across from Marina and looked into her eyes, because her very presence is another human being that gave them permission to feel their pain and someone to witness it. You know, interestingly though enough, that happens a lot here at CSL. A lot of people don't understand why they cry when they first show up here. I can't tell you how many people have told me, the first 4 Sundays I was here the entire month, I just sat in the audience and cried. It's because you carry pain in your heart. We all do. Unprocessed pain, uncried tears that we haven't taken time. Some of it comes from childhood. Some of it comes from adult hurts or wounds. Some of it just comes from living in the world that we do, you know, full of injustice and suffering. Marina Abramovic began her career in performance art in the 1970s with one of her most dangerous pieces titled Rhythm O. It took place in Naples, Italy in 1974. It was one of her first early attempt to stay present and open to whatever life presented, to stay present and open to whatever was going on around you and to whatever people did, to stay present. So in this performance art called Rhythm O, in Italy in 1974, for 6 hours, she stood perfectly still. Perfectly still for 6 hours, surrounded by 72 instruments that she had gathered for her performance. Some of the objects that she put there would give her pain. Others would give her pleasure. They included a feather, a whip, lipstick, a scalpel, a rose, and even a gun with one bullet in the chamber. Visitors were invited to do whatever it is they wanted to with her using one of these instruments. What do you think happened? Given the options to do whatever it is you would like to do to another person without them responding or without any resistance at all, be honest. Would it bring out the best in you? Would it bring out the worst? Some people scratched her. Some people marked her. Some people pinned slogans to her skin. Others doused her with water. One person tried to rape her, and another person stopped. All the while, she just stood there and received whatever it is they did to her. But then after 6 hours, she finally moved. She started to walk towards the audience for the very first time after 6 hours, and do you know what they did? They ran. They ran in fear. They ran in shame. They ran because they had to face the pain in their own selves, in their own hearts, and what it does to others when you don't take time to heal it. Marina's performance art teaches us a number of things. First of all, it mirrors what we already really do know about ourselves, that we as human beings and even as individuals are capable of tremendous acts of kindness, but also horrible acts of cruelty. But the most profound lesson that it teaches, and the one that I want you to hear this morning, is this: we need to stay open to everything longer than it's comfortable, or no transformation can happen. I want you to remember that the next time a homeless person is in front of you and you can smell them. I want you to remember it the next time you're in a heated argument with someone about religion or politics and you are at a point of rage so much that you just want to slap their face. I want you to remember it the next time you're in a very, very uncomfortable and awkward position with someone emotionally having a conversation, or just being present with them, and you are so afraid you're going to get hurt. Stay in it longer. Push the limits of your own comfort zone. Feel the vulnerability of it. Because it's at the edge of awkwardness and uncomfortableness where you will really grow, where you will be transformed. I want to shift gears. By a show of hands, how many of you can say you are very happy with the way things are going in the world? Very happy with the way things are going in the world. If you're watching online, raise your hand at home. If you're very, very happy with the way things are going and the conditions in our world. Nobody here. Nobody here. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being super excited about the future of our planet, and 1 feeling helpless and hopeless to change anything in our world, where are you at? Just say your number out loud. Okay, good. This probably won't come as a surprise to you, but a recent poll showed a large percentage of Americans, about 65%, think the country's going in the wrong direction. And that poll crosses all religious or political boundaries. It's not just Republicans and Christians, it's also Democrats and non-Christians. As they say in NASA, Houston, we have a problem. And the problem is complex. We have wealth distribution problems in America. We've got poverty, disease, homelessness, addiction, prejudices, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. It's no wonder that so many people are feeling helpless to change the world. It's no wonder that we want to numb ourselves out at the end of the day after dealing with all the chaos. We just want to check out. There are many days that I end and say, good Lord, I need a drink, y'all. I just need a drink. Sensitive people can feel it. They can feel it. Others are just unconsciously acting out and treating nurses and waiters and flight attendants horribly. There's an undertone of anxiety and fear that's gripping our world today. It's this damn pandemic, with its constantly shifting and changing message of what we're supposed to do to keep us safe, that's making us all weary. Oh my God, it's exhausting. Are you exhausted? I'm exhausted from it. Let me tell you, being a faith leader, you want to be a faith leader in a world of fear? You know what that's like? Oh my God, it's a challenge. On one side are the people telling me, if I have to wear a mask to church, I'm not going because that is against our teaching. And on the other side are the people that say, we need to follow the science. So if you don't make everyone wear a mask, then I'm not going. Do you know what my grandmother said for that, for the position that I hold today? Damned if you do and damned if you don't. On one side are the people telling me, calling me, emailing me, texting me, everyone has to be vaccinated. We need to have a vaccinated section on Sunday and a non-vaccinated section on Sunday. And on the other side are the people telling me, calling me, texting me, emailing me, calling me, texting me, emailing me, the vaccine is lethal, no one should get it. Here I am, damned if you do, damned if you don't. I had to laugh the other day. A friend of mine who doesn't take any of this seriously called me up. He's a nice Georgia boy, so he's got a southern accent. He said, you know what, Chris? I took the Trump vaccine, but I paid for it with my Obamacare. Sounds good to me. So you know we got problems in our world. We know things need to change. Everybody knows that. But how? How are they going to change and who's going to do it? Good news, my friends. Our new audio and social media manager, Brandon Backer, found a solution, and he sent it to me this week that I want to share with you today. Check this out.
There are lots of ideas how you can change the world. Some people think you should just complain about it. That won't change the world. It'll just make it mad. Some people think you have lots of money, making it rain everywhere you go. Holla for $1. Some people think you have to be really loud and yell a lot. It's like with a bullhorn shouting, "Hey you, yeah you, do it my way right now, you heard?" Other people choose to just make fun of everything. That's dumb, everyone's dumb. It's easier to make fun of stuff, but it's cooler to make stuff. Some people think changing the world can only be done by the smartest person in the world. Just put them in a room, let them figure it out. The solution of world hunger? Food. Wow, that was so amazing. Some people see the bad in the world and they just decide to ignore it, but that won't help anything. Some people think you have to be really famous and super cool. In fact, lots of people think you have to be really powerful to make a difference, like being mayor or senator or president. But the truth is, a title doesn't make you more important. The world is changed by you. It's one person filled with love. And they just have to live it out, so they do something awesome. Then that person is filled with love, and they do something awesome. It just goes on and on and on and on. And the next thing you know, everything's awesome. Some people think it's impossible to change the world.
It's impossible to change the world.
Well, you can see why they could think that. Living in the world with kids who are hungry, people who are homeless, families who aren't happy. I'm just trying to figure it out like everybody else, man. But I do know this, though. Next time you feel overwhelmed or totally alone, remember this. Things don't have to be the way they are. The world is changed by ordinary people. Little people living out big love. And that's what gives the world a reason to dance.
From the mouths of babes, Though our problems are certainly complex in the world, the solutions are not. As the kid said, one person filled with love affecting another person filled with love. When my partner and husband and I first got together, Aubrey, many, many years ago, I was in Kansas City and I had a Sunday off. So what did I do on my Sunday off? I went to his church. We're not the same religion, so I went to his church that Sunday. After the service, he introduced me to his pastor. And the pastor asked, "So how long have you guys been together?" And at the time, I think it'd just been a couple of years. So I said, 2 years. And he said something to me that I will never forget. Something that really made me stop and think. He said, "The world is a better place because the two of you are loving each other." So I ask you, is it possible that love is so powerful that it can affect life on the whole planet when two people are loving each other? Is it possible by loving your cat, your spouse, your brother, or a friend that your love can affect the entire world? Is it possible that your love leaves an imprint in the consciousness of our world that can affect future generations? The answer: love really is that powerful. In fact, it's the most powerful tool you have for changing the world. First by loving yourself, then by loving others. You see, the love you came to earth with, you cannot leave behind. Do not die with a heart full of love. Leave all of it here. Give it all the way, because it leaves an imprint that changes life forever. I don't know if you've ever stopped to think about this, but you and I have two things in common. Two things in common with every single other person on this planet. The first is our divine potential, and the second is our human pain. We've all been hurt, used, abused, tattooed, messed up. So we have a shared pain that comes from just being alive on this planet. It's our human pain. But we also have, my friend, our divine potential. The part of us that comes from the universe that brought us here. Our gifts, our talents, our strengths, the unique perspective and way that we love that no one else can. And what you have, all of that divine potential, is exactly what the world needs right now. It's no mistake that you are here. It's no mistake that we are here together. So if there's one takeaway from today's lesson that I'd like for you to have, hear this. You can act out from your pain, the thing that we all have in common, like the performance art from Marina's project. Those people that acted out, they're the walking wounded who are unconsciously acting out from their pain that they never healed. Or you can make a different choice. There's you and that amazing potential that you hold inside. You did not come here to be another victim of the world's pain. You came here to be a light bearer. You came here to be a giver of love. You didn't come here to be infected by the world. You came here to affect it with your love. You came here as I did, to leave the world better than we found it. And so ends the lesson. Thank you for watching, and thanks for supporting CSL. If you'd like to know more about us, check us out on our website or social media. Blessings.